I think what's happening is now that I'm scheduling it same day, I think it's showing up a little bit better and easier for everybody. Especially you, since you brought that to my attention. So I'm not scheduling it days out anymore. Running a little bit late tonight because I don't even know if Sid's asleep. This poor kid's been up since 6:15, waking up with nightmares. So just trying to roll with it the best I can. Threw me out of whack a little bit today. She had nightmares, so she's been Velcro all day. It's just a lot to handle. Uh, I've been so busy worried about possibilities that I haven't been focused on the outcomes of things. I had an amazing conversation with Stephen DeSade again. Uh, Obviously, lots of conversations with Annie, lots of conversations with Michelle, Kelly, the whole world basically. Just trying to been really busy with the kids today. They've all needed a lot of attention, and they all have anxiety and anxiousness about what's coming this week. Um, just been so much going on, right? And had to take a step back from a few things. But that's okay. I owe it to myself and I owe it to the circumstance and the situation to put everything I have into it. I've realized many things in the last 24 hours, right? One, I'm a much better person than I thought I was. Um, Sometimes when things seem convenient or easy, they're really not, right? And sometimes when there's an easy solution, it's not the right thing to do for yourself or anyone else involved. And you just have to have faith. You have to have faith in what your purpose is, what your cause is, what your belief is, what you're there for. Um, and I realized today that I have a lot more faith and a lot more strength than I thought I did. I realized that it was brought to my attention that I'm a much better person than I give myself credit for. I have a lot more strength and character than I think I even do. Sometimes, even when you're being told these things and people say it, like Rhonda left an amazingly beautiful endorsement on my LinkedIn, and it almost brought me to tears. And, you know, just because you hear it doesn't mean you accept it or allow it or believe it, right? Like, I think because I'm so overwhelmed right now with so much going on in so many different directions, and it's not all bad, right? It's just not. But what it did was it brought me back and triggered me to my past, and it triggered me back to things that triggered me back to things where I would normally pack it in and run, right? And the reality is, in this time, I can't. This time, that's not even a considerable option, right? And I really got caught up in chaos today. My mind was just spiraling a lot, and it's very hard to see ourselves around it. It's miserably difficult at times. I've never been good at it. A lot of it probably has to do with my questioning of my worth, my value, and stuff like that, right? And I've done a ton of work on it, and I think it's the overwhelmed feeling that triggered it all. And then next thing you know, I started getting insecure. Then when I got insecure, I started getting scared. When I got scared, I started trying to create chaos and change things that really don't need to be changed. It's it's funny how I've always abandoned myself and I've always sabotaged myself and I've never really realized it. And as I'm becoming more and more self-aware and my circle is closer and these real intimate bonds and friends that I value tremendously and people that call me on my shit directly, sometimes in a gentle way, sometimes in an extremely blunt way, based on the circumstance, and that's fine. I can take it, right? Because if I'm asking the question, then I always want the blunt truth and the harshest truth. Not because I deserve the harsh answer, but because that's the way that it gets through to me. I'm very much so that mentality. Sugarcoating things doesn't do any good for me. Sugarcoating things I misconstrue all the time, and I usually don't receive it properly. And come to think of it, I probably missed a few messages over the past, a few things that have been told to me over the past couple of weeks. Just because I'm that guy that needs that blunt transparency, right? I need that blunt, harsh truth, uh, good or bad. Like, it's not always a bad truth, right? It's just I need the accurate, blunt truth for whatever it is. And that's fine. I know myself enough to know that. And those are the types of people that I want to surround myself with. The people that can provide me what I need or what I ask for or what I receive the best. It's been a very interesting day. Um, I made a couple decisions last night that I'm proud of myself for. They weren't easy, uh, but it was the right thing to do. And today I started out the day off. Uh, then I bounced back and I was doing okay. And then I crumbled, like really crumbled, like just meltdown crumbled. And I don't think it has to do with one situation or one circumstance. I think I just allowed everything to get the best of me at that moment. What I've realized is as I'm going through this process, it's hard to it's hard to allow somebody else to be themselves at all times, especially when I'm not allowing myself to be myself at all times. It's hard for me to just be a lot, right? Like I've been getting better at it, and I'm better than I've ever been at it, but it doesn't mean it's easy. Um, just being is not my strong point anywhere near it, but I'm working on it. Being centered is something that over the past few months I've been getting much better at. Being focused, being clear, being very. I've always been transparent, but this is probably another extreme of it because it's transparency with clarity. Um, my life is more complicated than I would like it to be right now, and that's fine. I think that's okay, right? Because that's allowing people to be themselves, right? And that's fine. And it's also giving myself self-compassion and allowing myself to be myself. Just because it's not how we want it doesn't mean that it's not the best thing for everybody involved. Just because I lose patience at times with certain things, and not patience with individuals, but patience in long-term circumstances, because I want instant gratification, and that's not fair. Um, it becomes a trying to think of the right word. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of self-abandonment and pushing people away because we lose our own patience, right? And we're not willing to be patient with ourselves, be patient with outcomes, be patient with circumstances. And we all have circumstances. We all have situations. This world is very confusing, very chaotic. Yes, yes. Um, I think I agree with that. Um, I think for me, I've always been that way. Nobody loves analyzing themselves more than me. But the difference is in the past, rather than rather than in the past, rather than Yes, everybody is in a weird place right now. Rather than crisis mode, right? I think I used to use the over-examining and over-analyzing and overthinking as an excuse, right? Be like, oh, I'm not going to give you an answer because I've really got to break this down in a billion different ways. I think the difference is now when I go into crisis mode, I express it clearer. I express it in a better way. I express what's going on with me at that moment, and I allow people to be there for me much better than I ever have in my life. Um, it's different. It's a different time to be able to have those people in your life that you can depend on and turn to, um, and uh, be able to allow others to help you, right? And here's the thing, like I'm so big on helping others. Yes, 100%. But letting things unfold is not always easy. Here's the thing, right? I'm so huge on helping others, and I love helping others, and I am so horrible at allowing others to help me. It's like the opposite extreme. But what I'm starting to realize, and I've known this, and I've been getting better at it over years, over the last couple few years. Um, as time goes by, I'm getting better at it, accepting help and allowing to be helped, and not from a needy place, but from a I need clarity. Can you please kick me in the head and help me find it type situation? And it's been getting better, right? Because what it does is when you're trying to build real bonds with people and real relationships, yes, yes, 100%. Um, what it does is it creates more natural bonds and deeper relationships when you allow others to be there for you also. Because if it's a genuine person that you want in your life, when you're always the one there for them, it drives their insecurity that they can never be there for you. And I'm not telling you to, go. Uh, yes, I'm not telling you that we should go self-sabotage, create circumstances so that people can be there to help you. But if you're in need, allow someone to be there for you. And here's the thing: you're as we're all at different stages, and as everybody's at different places and levels and circumstances, situations, it might not be the same person that repays you. It might be somebody else, and you have to allow that also, because maybe they find somebody else that repays them. Um, and it's this energy flow of this giving mentality where it gets comes back, whatever fold, right? Everybody has their own concept of what it comes back in. I think Dave Meltzer talks about tenfold. I think, all these different things, right? Everybody has their own concept on it. For me, I've never looked for what I'm going to get in return. Um, in the past, I always gave because I didn't think I deserved to receive. Um, now it's a little different. I actually have those bonds, and I look to receive from those that I can trust, from those that I care about. Um, so I'm looking forward to the direction that I'm heading. And yes, this is going to be a crazy week, crazy few weeks probably, and that's okay. It's allowed. Uh, but I'm more than willing to do what I have to do, to be what I have to be the best, my best me. I'm going to call it tonight. I'm tired. Self-compassion is difficult. Self-compassion for me is it comes back to a worth issue. I never thought I deserved it. I never thought I was worth it. I never thought that I never thought that, it really goes back to self-worth for me, right? Like I never thought I was worth having self-compassion. I I always was willing to give compassion to others and tell others, to be kind to themselves, but I was never willing to be kind to myself. So I guess it's, one of those things. If we can't be kind to ourselves at some point, we're not going to be kind to others. So we've really got to identify that and analyze it and break it down and fix it. But do the work, right? Do the work and get it out and get rid of it. And there's lots of ways to do it, but it's important. Doing the work is very important. Yes, I am a true empath, and it's um, it's great and horrible at the same time. It's a blessing. It is. You just have to. What I'm learning is to follow my intuition. Okay, so basically, my whole life I've let my empathy and empathic abilities uh, rule my intuition. What I'm learning now is that my intuition rules my empathy and empathic abilities. And that way I'm more protected. I'm in a better position. I'm in a stronger position. And it's just more well rounded. My intuition is very rarely wrong. My intuition is usually off the charts. Problem is, I never trusted it. So, again, I think that goes back to self worth and never really believing in myself and always questioning myself. But either way, Rhonda, you have an amazing night. I'm going to get going. I appreciate you, Rhonda. I don't know what I'm doing about a live tomorrow or Wednesday yet. With the court on Wednesday morning, we'll see how that goes and where I'm at. Tomorrow night, I'm not sure. We'll go from there and see what happens. Everybody have a good night, and if you ever need anything, please reach out. Thanks.